Hey guys, welcome back to another fun, exciting video. Let's learn some things. We are going to discuss employment today because if you're going to bring all these jobs, all these manufacturing jobs, if you're going to bring them back to America, then you need employees. You have to have someone to run the machines, fix the things, all the things you have to do. You need qualified labor to do these jobs, which means you need people with educations. Some of the jobs, for a lot of the jobs, you don't need anything but someone to all day long. You can look at the factory workers, pictures of factory workers in China. Go Google that. They're sitting there all day long. This is their life forever. If this is successful, you can have one of those jobs too. Let me throw a term at you. This term is called full employment. Have you heard of it? Do you know about it? Do I need to give you a minute to Google it? No, you don't have time for that. Okay. Full employment is where everybody in your country that wants a job has a job. They have a job to do. If you don't want a job, good for you. Do whatever you're going to do. But if you want a job, you can find a job. You have a job. And that basically correlates to 4% unemployment or less. And that is where we're at right now in America, 4% unemployment. And the average person with unemployment is finding a job, a new job, within 4 to 5 weeks. Okay, so you have full employment in America. And what that means is that we do not have the manpower for all these factories that Trump wants to bring back. We don't have the manpower for them. So we're going to need more able bodies. Where are you going to get them? Are you going to do work visas and start bringing foreigners back into the country? Are you going to try to get rid of current jobs? What is your plan? How are you going to produce the bodies that America doesn't have to do these jobs? If you start making babies today, you're looking at 22, 23 years, you have a new workforce. If you start today, if that's the plan, then you don't need emergency tariffs right now if you're going to have to wait 23 years for graduated, qualified employees. So that doesn't appear to be a good option. The other option is aliens. I don't know, maybe one of these trade deals that Trump made up with the Galactic Federation or something. Maybe they're going to send purple aliens to Earth and they're going to work in America to do these jobs. I don't know. Martians? I don't know. Aliens? Anyways, where are you going to get the people to do these jobs? Because the American population right now does not support it. Here's one way. You can look at this and you can say there are a lot of people in America that are not working. How do we get them to want to or be able to return to a job? Stay-at-home moms, that's one thing. I don't know, grandmas, retired people, I don't know. But the challenge you have is that daycare in America, childcare in America is so ridiculously expensive. In a lot of ways, it makes more economic sense for the mom just to stay home and raise their children. And personally, I think that's the best mom or dad, one of the parents. I don't like the idea of both parents having to work full time. I'd like to go back to where it was in the 40s, 50s and whatnot, where one income would take care of your family. It doesn't do that anymore. I don't think it's going to happen under Trump or any other president either. I don't think the world is going that way. But you can try to bring moms back to work, but you have to make sure that the pay is good so that they can afford the daycare and the extra expenses that are going to come with that. And it's not cheap. Let me tell you, it's not cheap. And if you're going to do that, if you're going to have these people coming into these jobs and you're going to be paying them well to afford this, well, then you are making expensive labor. The cost of labor is going to be high. And right now in America, the cost of labor is so high that we cannot sell our products to the rest of the world because the rest of the world is not buying American products because they can't afford American products. Americans cannot afford American products. Nobody else can. So you bring these people back, you pay them enough to cover all this stuff. They're going to be making products that nobody can afford to buy. So how do you fix that? It's another question for Trump. How do you fix that? Because you have to have the bodies. You have to have the people to do the jobs. And if you're going to have things affordable that people can afford to buy, it's going to have to be low pay. So what's your plan, Trump? What's your plan? Okay. Next subject. Let's talk about the existing labor shortage in America. 7 out of 10 employers who are putting up job postings, trying to hire people, those jobs are going unfilled because nobody is qualified for the jobs. So those jobs are still sitting vacant. No one's taking them because no one has the skills. No one in America has the education to do those jobs. So you either let a job sit vacant long enough for someone to go to college, trade school, whatever it is to get that job, or are you going to bring somebody in on a work visa? I don't know. Different options, but at the end of the day, the problem is that as it is right now, there are good jobs available in America going unfilled because no one has the education to do the job. That is an American problem. Here's 2 reasons for that. You have an aging population in America and people are retiring. They're done working. They're done, okay? And then there's no one to fill the job. No one's gone to school to get that education. The next thing you have is trends in America have changed. As we've already discussed, America and American industry has been working for decades now to move away from manufacturing and into services. So our schools, our vocational schools, our colleges, our high schools that offer vocational type things, all of those things are gearing kids towards that future. The services future. They're all heading this way. And now Trump wants to go this way, okay? So you're going to have to take these people that have spent their whole lives being pushed this way, and now you got to bring them all back the other way. What if they don't want those jobs? What if they want those jobs that they've been working for their whole lives? Everything they've seen, everything they've been taught through school, through college, through trade school, through whatever, they want to go that way with their career. Sorry, we need to go this way. Are we going to become some sort of dictatorship and force people into those jobs? How are you going to do that? How are you going to fix that in 90 days? You can't, okay? So something either really bad is going to happen or Trump will cave in again and again and again because what he's trying to do, it's impossible. You can't do it. Number 1, it's not really his job. It's Congress's job. Number 2, America doesn't work that fast. They don't change that fast. You can't adapt that fast. It's impossible. It's impractical. And all you're doing in the meantime is destroying the American economy, destroying American lives, destroying American retirement, because this perceived problem that you want to fix overnight, you have to be a magician to do it. Trump's no magician. Don't worry too much about this. You don't have to worry right now. You do have to worry about America collapsing or going into a severe recession and you losing your job, losing your house, losing your cars, losing everything you've spent your life on. You do have to worry about that, but you don't have to worry so much about going into a manufacturing job right now because companies are not looking to reshore and bring back American jobs to America. They're not doing that. They're looking for other countries. They're looking for other countries that are in lower tariff rates. And they'll send the jobs there. They'll take the job out of China. They'll send it to India, wherever. If they have a lower tariff rate, if it's cheaper there, that's what they're going to do. They are still not going to bring these jobs back to America because the cost of labor in America is too expensive and There are not enough people for the jobs. The labor pool in America is too small to run these industries at any type of scale that would come close to competing with China or Asia. America does not have the population for that. We don't. And that's just a fact. But that's where it is. I was in a conversation the other day, and the discussion was engineers, talking about how many engineer graduates are coming out of China and how few engineer graduates are coming out of America. China, America. And one of the people involved in that conversation says, wait a minute, per capita, we have just as many engineers coming out of America as we do in China. The problem is that American population, Chinese population, you can have the same per capita. You've got 10 engineers. China, you've got 100. 100 engineers can do way more than 10, even if they're not very good engineers. Just the sheer volume of engineers that are graduating in China will leave America in the dust, just because the workload that you can do when you have that many more people. America is disadvantaged in those regards, and we cannot keep up with that. We can't keep up with them on that. There's no way. Americans aren't having that many babies to catch up with China. Number one, people don't want to. Number two, no one can afford to. Back to the price of childcare, back to health care. Nobody can afford that. That's why American population is on a decline, is because people cannot afford to have kids. In this American economy, people cannot afford children. If you want a job in like manufacturing type things, construction, anything, trade, if you want something like that, you can go right now to any shipyard in America and get a job. They are hurting for labor. They cannot get skilled labor quick enough to build ships in America. So that's the job. If you really want it, you can fill those now. You don't need tariffs. You don't need to bring anything back. We have job openings right now Americans can fill. They don't want them. Or they're not smart enough. Or they're not educated enough. Either way, there's a disconnect, because those jobs are right here, right now, and America can't do them. The manufacturing that you do see coming back to America, I know they made a big deal about Apple investing a bunch of money in America. You watch and you mark my words. When that gets here, it's going to be all robotic automation. It's not going to be jobs for people. You will have people, you'll have supervisors, you'll have some mechanics, you'll have some jobs. But for the amount of money that they're talking about bringing back into America, you're not going to see the types of jobs or the number of jobs that you think will come. Number one, American labor is too expensive. Number two, America does not have the workforce for large-scale projects. We do not have it. So you're going to get things that don't need human labor, which is the automation, the robotics, all of those fun things. Have you gone to college for that? No? Have you gone to trade school for that? No? Well, then you're not getting that job. So if you go back to college now, go back to trade school now, 2 years, 4 years from now, maybe you can get that job. Again, not happening in 90 days. No magicians here. None. So what are we going to do? What's Trump going to do? He's going to have to find somebody to blame, because he doesn't take responsibility for anything very well. So what is going to happen? What are we going to do? What do you think, now that you know that we don't have the educated people, we don't have the actual even physical manpower to do what Trump wants to do, and we're definitely not going to get it done on any kind of timeline that Trump is promising. So, put it in the comments. How are we supposed to address all these problems? How are we supposed to fix this? What do you think is going to happen? Do you have an answer for how all this can be done in 90 days to avoid Trump's tariffs? Put it in the comments. I'd like to hear it. Absolutely would. I've been asking that. I've been asking that. I've been asking that. How are we going to be competitive in America? To be competitive in America, we need lower labor rates. Nothing, absolutely nothing done so far is addressing that. So, if you think you know a plan, if you think you know what's going on, if you think you have the answer, I really want to hear it. Put it in the comments. Honestly, I do. Comments right there. I want to hear what you guys think. That's all I got. See you on the next video. I think maybe waterfalls? Bye.